I sort of thought that when, like, we started a podcast almost entirely about books, that I wouldn't go, like, completely feral as soon as someone was like, gosh, I just don't know what to read next. But, like, the amount of overbearing information gathering and suggestion making I have undertaken with this, like, brand new person is just untenable. Nobody should ever ask any of us about book recommendations because it's going to take like 45 minutes to answer.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Midlight Crisis, a real podcast hosted by three grown-up biologists revisiting books from our teens, and it's totally cool. I am one of your hosts, Sophie, and today I have been genetically recombined with a bird that has a superpower. But it's only 2%. Only 2% of my genetics are superpowered bird. And the bird with a superpower that I have been genetically recombined with today is an enhanced smell bagel pelican.
Yeah.
My bagel smell is enhanced.
Does that mean you can smell them? Or you smell like bagel in an enhanced way?
Probably both.
Dang.
I think because I'm a bagel pelican who can smell really well. I just either look like or exclusively eat bagels.
I mean, you can fit so many bagels in that old pelican pouch.
Yeah. Like, me, Sophie, is a bagel pelican already, because I can just, inhale so many of them. I can just infinite bagels all the time. And I guess I smell really good in both senses. Wow. Other people experience a really good bagel smell, and I can smell things really well.
That's such a good combination of abilities.
No, I don't. I think if I had to pick one sense to be enhanced, it would, I would never pick smell. If smell was my only choice, I'd be like, actually, I don't even want a superpower then. No thanks.
No thank you.
No
thanks. Do not want it.
Yeah, I don't like good smells enough to overcome how much I hate bad smells.
Yeah.
But also my nose has been destroyed because of the aquarium, so I don't even know anymore. I still can't smell like ocean smells.
Yeah.
The other day something yucky was pulled out of a tank in the lab, and I was over later in the day and people were like, it smells terrible. And I was like, does it? It's been 3 years since I was in an aquarium environment, and yet my nose buds are seared away. Anyway, who and what are you guys?
My name's Sam, and today I am 2% mixed with a space cookie skua. I don't know if I said that right.
Wow.
Yeah, you said it right.
You did. And I love
that's
it.
Good. I can read.
Finally.
Wow.
That's great.
Congrats.
Evolution.
You've done it.
Character growth.
Yeah.
We've made it.
Lovely.
Sorry. Space cookie.
We got distracted. Space cookie.
A cookie skua.
I love it. Cookie skua, it's in like a Steven Universe style cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You know, I was going to say that maybe it has like speckles, so it looks like a chocolate chip cookie.
Aww.
Because I was like, skuas are like the most
dicks.
opposite of an animal that would eat a cookie, because they just enjoy murder.
Yeah, they're jerks.
If it can't be like a viscerally unpleasant experience to see them eat, then they don't want to be there.
Oh my god, am I this bird?
I don't. Do you eat baby penguins alive? Is this a reveal?
But I do like revenge.
Revenge against the baby penguins. What have they ever done to you?
I mean, no. I thought I was gonna say for a second. I was like, oh yeah, wait, you're the one who doesn't like penguins, but it's pandas. It's another black and white animal.
They're basically the same, though, if you think about it.
Basically, yeah.
both
For sure.
over-evolved,
Same
if you ask
energy.
me.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not going to let Sophie get started on the panda slander. I'm going to introduce myself. My name is
Fine.
Hannah, and I am
Wait, I have a question.
2%.
Why? What is the superpower space?
Listen, imagine surviving up there.
No, but that's not what it says.
Yeah, it just says
maybe
It
space.
just says space.
It's from space. It's superpowers that it's from space, like
No.
Thor.
Because then it would be a space penguin.
Wait, I'm a skua.
It's not a, she's
Oh,
not
yeah.
a penguin.
Because cool. My mistake.
I like murder.
She's a space cookie
You're a
skua.
space-
She's a cookie skua from space.
You're a space panda. They're basically the same.
Okay.
Okay, that's what. All right, fine. Okay, you
Okay,
can keep
I-
introducing yourself now.
I am 2% bird,
Okay, good start.
2% bird, 2% superpower,
2%
100%
Oh, Dad.
a problem.
Yeah.
I have been genetically recombined with a tentacle globe petrel. I don't know what it
Nice.
is, but I don't think I like it.
That's from a Kimberly Lemming book.
It is. Yeah, tentacle globe is terrible.
Sorry, what was the last part? I got to. As soon as you said tentacle, I was waiting for a silence to make my Kimberly Lemming joke. What was the rest of it?
Tentacle globe petrel.
A globe petrel. Are you
So like so round, but with tentacles.
okay? I was.
I'm like a flying octopus? Question mark?
Yeah. Sure. Maybe you're like a bird of paradise equivalent petrel with just like fancy
yeah.
little tentacle and
Fancy
weird little
tentacles.
spots.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
Okay, see, I was thinking that maybe you like flew a long way, and that's why you're a globe.
Oh, I was thinking just such a round boy.
Either could be true. Scientists aren't quite sure
yeah.
yet.
No,
Yeah.
nobody knows where they came from.
Yeah, someone needs to.
Maybe it was space
Ugh.
with the skuas.
No.
Sam and I co-evolved alongside each other, it turns out.
Well, Sam's about to murder you in a horrible way.
Okay, but I have so many tentacles.
That's
so
true. That's true.
That's how our arms race is going out here in tentacle space.
Tentacle space. No. Stop
Yuck.
it.
Delete that.
That's one of the D&D planes, I think.
Mm.
Tentacle plane. Anyway,
Plane of
the reason, of course, that we that we have all of these amazing superpowers and are part bird is because we are reading Maximum Ride, The Angel Experiment, the book with the bird kids that have superpowers. And as always, we have read 4 chapters for this episode. How about you guys tell us what happened in them? Because they're so good.
Well, chapter 129 starts us off with the rescue mission in full force, and the flock rushing to escape with all their new mutant friends. But once they make it to the sewer, the one and only Ari is yet again waiting to foil their plans.
Mm-hmm.
And then chapter 130 gives us some of the best character insight into Ari and Max, where they throw insults back and forth, then fists back and forth, and then Max full-on kills him by snapping his neck, which is batshit wild.
Yep.
Again, this is a kid's book.
This is a kid's book.
Kid's book.
It's a kid's book.
That's all.
Yeah, what happened after that?
Yep.
Well, now it's time to run because apparently Ari was way ahead of the rest of the pack and they are only now just catching up. Jeb appears and wails about his dead son for a while, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And then he tries to be all groomery with Max, which is also extremely cool. And then he drops the bombshell that Max just murdered her own brother. So,
Dun, dun,
in chapter
dun.
132, Max panics about Ari being her brother. The other mutant kids have just vanished out of the story, I guess. And then they find a non-Central Park to squat in, where Angel tries to convince Max and Fang that she should be allowed to keep the dog Total. And Total promptly leaps 16 feet straight up in the air.
Yeah.
Nice.
I forgot, I guess, that we were reading Childhood Medical Abuse, the novel.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
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 You know, of all the books that are not supposed to be read this way, I think this one is the most not supposed to be read this way.
We thought Twilight was bad. We didn't know what we were in for.
Honestly didn't remember. Like, I think at some point when we started reading this, I was like, I think Ari dies. Like, I remember that. He comes back. Like, I distinctly remember him coming back. But he is dead now. And he is brought back to life maybe even later in this book. Like, in 4 chapters, I think he's probably back. But
yeah.
Even as it was coming up to it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember Ari dies, and I remember Max kills him. And I'm just like, but it's so wild that Ari dies and Max kills him. Like, moment to moment detailed description.
Yeah, like really.
Like really.
Anyway, before we get to that.
Okay, start earlier, I guess. If you want.
Listen, I mostly want to talk about the sound that emerged from my body when they start their escape, and they run through the first door and across the, quote, deep carpeting. Deep?
Oh my god.
Deep? Did we know it was, like, I know we were saying it was deep because we're full of shit and thought that would be funny, but it's, like, actually deep.
This carpet is also full of shit, probably, because it's so deep.
More than shit.
Yeah.
More than shit.
More than shit.
Oh my god. We joked that it was shag carpeting.
Yeah,
but
like, that wasn't supposed to be,
but
like,
it
TV.
is shag carpeting.
It's deep.
It's actually shag carpeting. Deep carpeting. Although, I do think, you can tell me if I'm wrong, I think the next chapter proves why they need deep carpeting. Or at least some kind of carpeting, because Ari is trying to attack Max, and they go out, like, into the pipes, and he slips and falls over. Because dogs have poor traction on smooth floors.
It's true.
So
I have living proof.
We know.
We are well aware.
You know, I'm sure. Yeah, so that's probably why they have carpeting, because the erasers can't run effectively.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's actually a fair point.
Floors.
But that does not negate lab safety, because dogs shouldn't be in a lab to begin with.
Agreed.
Also, why is it deep carpeting? Just have little
Also,
mats.
you can get textured hard flooring. It doesn't have to be smooth. You can, like, get stucco concrete or something.
Or, like, the anti-slip strips. Like, at the aquarium, I kept, like, slipping around.
Oh, yeah, remember that time I full-on fell?
Yeah.
Right?
Even that anti-slip stuff doesn't work when you're soaking wet.
No. It's true.
No.
So, actually, what I think I'm saying is that aquariums should be carpeted.
No! Oh my god, can you imagine how much?
Ew.
That is repulsive.
I was gonna finish that sentence by being like, imagine how much crypt is in those carpets. But then I was like, actually, imagine how many, like,
that's not the worst
pieces
thing.
of krill are in there.
Yeah, oops, I dropped a capelin, and now
now it's in the deep carpeting. Yeah.
It's in the deep carpet.
Yeah, like, you're feeding these experiments through that door.
Surely they're feeding them.
Yeah, you're dropping all your krill for your paddlefish mutants or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just a kid with a giant mouth, like a basket.
No, you're done.
He's got a long nose.
You're done.
The gigantic rostrum.
You thought the sturddlefish was weird. Wait till you see this.
Did you say sturddlefish?
Yeah,
she did.
That there was that lab that, like, accidentally bred sturgeon to paddlefish, and they ended up with a sturddlefish.
I need to Google this.
Yeah, everyone pause. It looks like they're not, like, that closely related, but apparently they're like able to breed.
I have seen this.
Yeah. And they're called sturddlefish.
Wow. Oh, that's
what a derpy looking thing.
They're pretty cute. Don't they have, like, a big dumb nose?
They do.
Yeah. Well, both species have a big dumb nose.
Yeah, can you describe what
already.
it looks like for the audience?
No.
They look like a goblin shark, but a goblin shark is a fish. It looks like a Teleos version of a goblin shark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they look mostly like sturgeon.
They look mostly like sturgeon. They have the goofy sturgeon sucker mouth.
Yeah.
And then just like a long
little snoot.
Yeah, they just got a long nose. Just
Yeah,
wild.
this picture that I'm looking at, it sort of looks like the fish is going, huh?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if people don't know what an American paddlefish or a sturgeon look like, a sturgeon looks like a fish, but it's a dinosaur. You know, and then
yeah. And what does a paddlefish look like?
A paddlefish
Sophie?
looks like a fish, but it has a horizontal paddle off of the front of its face.
Yeah.
And it opens its mouth like a basking shark.
Yeah. It's like if you took a swordfish and made it really slow and stupid looking.
Mm-hmm. How dare
kind
you?
of,
They're adorable.
and gave it a big mouth. I think they're super cute, but
most people might disagree.
But-
Anyway, we got distracted about sturddlefish, and by we, I mean I distracted everyone about sturddlefish.
yeah.
I forget what we were saying before that. Don't put deep carpeting in your lab.
Yeah.
Like,
TLDR.
how
What the fuck?
did people even clean? Like, I feel like the thing about shag
Vacuums.
carpet is that you actually can't really clean it.
Mm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I've never lived somewhere with carpet as an adult, so I actually don't know how to clean a carpet.
I think you have to like steam it pretty like every couple of years. Like steam clean.
Yeah.
I don't even think that works.
I don't think it like works. I think it gets like mud out of it.
I think the best thing to do is just never own carpet.
Yeah.
Get those washable rugs or whatever.
Yeah.
Have that
Mhm.
instead.
Tragic. Just deep carpeting.
Deep carpeting.
Not the rest of it. Just the deep carpeting.
Yeah, the rest of it is fine. The
Fine.
carpet is the real problem
the
here
real
in this torture lab.
Yeah. No. I mean, I also I kind of had to reread the end of this first chapter and the beginning of the one 2 away from now because it was just like literally the other experiment kids existed just for like 2 chapters and the 10-year-old bird girl took them all of them and they were all fine.
Yeah.
One of them was a
Like,
cat with human fingers and she just took what'd she do with it?
One of them was basically catatonic and she was carrying
One
it.
had its organs outside of its body.
I think 2 of them had their organs outside their body.
Yeah.
They're the ones I'm worried about. Like, also, I'm just worried about them getting infections now that they're out of the sterile lab. Like,
now that they crossed that horrible carpet.
yes!
From the carpet.
Yeah.
Well, and they're going to have no survival skills because they've only ever been in dog crates. Several of them, well, the 10-year-old bird girl is the only one who speaks.
Yeah.
The other ones, we don't even know if they're able to comprehend language,
Yeah.
let alone speak.
Yeah.
And I feel
Mhm.
very confident that they're just never going to show up again.
Yeah. I feel like the bird girl shows up again.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was gonna say. There's something itching in my brain that says she comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said last time you thought she was going to be like an eraser
Did I?
sleeper cell thing. Yeah.
Oh, that is itching something else in my brain too. I'm
The
so
little man.
tired.
But yeah, last time you said your little man thought that she might be an eraser decoy because we all agree that at some point the erasers have
yeah.
wings. Now the fact that all of the children have just vanished confuses me.
Why is the little man now telling me that I think she's like Max's half sister or something?
Mm.
I think something now, like maybe maybe the little man in my head is you saying it last week, but I mean, whenever we did that,
Yeah.
but I feel like she's like she betrays them or something.
Mm. Isn't there a Max clone that betrays them?
But I feel like this girl either
Yeah.
ends up like as part of a trap to get them to come back or something, like to lead them into something. I don't know. Yeah.
Sus.
Like it is just so wild to me that they invented 20 something or more or however many mutants that were all like horrible experiments that all were like on the brink
Yeah.
of death. And by
Yeah.
they I mean the authors. Like they were just like,
Yeah.
we're gonna put like 45 dying human animal hybrids in this room
Mhm.
to show how good Max is and how she's gonna save them. And then also, they're too complicated for literally anything else we want to do. So we're just gonna get rid of them really quick.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Just get these off page as quick as possible.
I feel like it could have also been they could have had a room with like this dog and the bird girl, and it would have shown you the same thing, you know?
Yeah, it would have been just as effective if it was like, oh my god, we had like a sister and left her behind and didn't know about her or whatever.
Yeah, and then
being like, oh my god, there was a bird girl and also a horrifying cat creature and also some unsuccessful organ donors probably.
Like, I feel like this also just, I mean, okay, I agree. Obviously, I agree. None of these mutants should be in these cages. Obviously, I agree. They shouldn't have been experimented into creation. They shouldn't be in these cages. They shouldn't be tormented, treated horribly, worse than lab animals. I'm like, it feels really irresponsible to take them out of this environment.
It's so irresponsible.
Like, yeah.
I think it's just twinging on my, like, captive animal rhetoric when people are like, free all the animals in zoos. And it's like, so you just want to kill them? So you just want them to be dead? Because they won't survive in the wild. Like, they won't.
Well, like, if you want,
like,
if you want them to be dead, it would be way faster
to just
and way more
euthanize them here.
To be like, go out into the woods and either starve to death, freeze to death, or be predated upon by something that has been living in that environment for its entire life.
Yeah.
Like, none of these are fast options. None of these are painless options.
Yeah.
But apparently that's better than living in a controlled environment in captivity.
Yeah, and obviously it's different for the mutant children. But like, and I get where Max is coming from.
I don't think it needs to be said that children shouldn't be kept in cages, but
and I get that Max has specific feelings about it, very personal feelings.
Yeah, and she's like dissociating this whole time again, right? Like, this poor girl has not spent a full episode fully in her body.
Yeah, but like Sam was saying, specifically the ones with the organs outside of their bodies, and specifically like for me. Also, the cat with human eyes and hands. It's like,
I'm concerned about this cat.
The ones that are mostly human and don't seem like they would die when like a stiff wind hits them. But also like, what if, the air is filtered? What if they're kept away from sunlight for, like.
Yeah, they probably have all sorts of allergies if they've been kept in a sterile environment.
They probably haven't experienced a cold before.
Yeah.
Thinking again to animals in captivity.
Yeah, the ones with the organs.
Yeah.
There's a reason your organs are behind your bones and your fat.
Yeah.
They're gonna like trip on the sidewalk and then rupture their spleen and bleed to death.
Yeah.
Listen, they're not gonna last that long. Like,
you're right.
They're not.
They won't even make it through the carpet.
It quite honestly, it's amazing that they've made it to this point. But like,
yeah,
they're like one bad bacteria away from flesh-eating disease that's gonna destroy their entire everything.
Aren't we all though?
True.
That's true. I shouldn't joke about that. I have 2 incisions in my arm right now.
Don't think about it.
Oh, cool.
It's okay, I know first aid.
So do I.
Are you choking? Can I help you?
Hey, wake up.
Hey, somebody call.
Hi,
okay,
I'm
anyway.
a first responder. Can I help you?
Can I help you? I think it's interesting that, again, Ari brings up the fact that as he's taunting Max, like, oh, you're the one successful recombinant, which, A,
like,
why are they still making these organ kids and cat kids? And B, what are the erasers then, do we think?
Well, I think the erasers die so fast that they're technically not successful, really I guess.
But they've made so many of them.
Yeah, they have.
Like, even if they have extremely shortened lifespans, they have still succeeded in creating a werewolf.
It kind of, honestly, it just sort of seems like that's something that Jeb says in front of Ari the Eraser, his son.
Yeah, probably.
He's like, wow, yeah, well, it's different because Max is the only successful. Yeah, this section where Ari appears and is just like taunting Max is also just rough.
Yeah.
And also it's like pretty like awkwardly done. I don't know. It's like, why are they having this conversation? None of it really makes sense. Like, for some reason right now, Max is like, wow, suddenly I want to think about what happened to you, Ari. Why are you an eraser?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, like Max suddenly has the realization that after Jeb took the bird kids, his child was left behind and at some point was turned into an eraser. She realizes that, I mean, as a 3-year-old, Ari couldn't consent to that, and his father was there, so he didn't consent for him, so who the fuck turned this 3-year-old into an eraser?
Yeah.
But also, like, we've had some conversations before about how they make the erasers and whether it's in utero, like we assume they did with the bird kids, or afterwards, because Ari was changed when he was 3. And it says in this chapter, Max says in this chapter, someone wanted to see if erasers would last longer if they didn't start from infancy. You were 3 years old and they grafted DNA into you and they got a super eraser, right? So that does at least kind of confirm that I guess we were right to be confused about whether this happened in utero or after birth, because apparently both.
Yeah. Also, like, it's hilarious in that Max has known that they were created in utero for like 15 minutes. Like,
yeah,
it's only like a handful of chapters ago that she learned that they weren't recombined after birth, you know?
Yeah.
So she's like, wow, Ari, I guess you were made later. And it's like, how, what?
Well, it seems like they know that erasers are created as either as embryos or as newborn infants, because I've talked about it before.
Okay.
But I don't really know how they know that.
You know, it's around. Angel heard it in someone's brain, I guess.
I wonder if it's because the erasers have such shortened lifespans, even because the bird kids spent only part of their, like, childhoods in the school. They might, like Max and Fang and Iggy, the oldest ones, might have experienced, like, more than one generation of erasers being created and grown up and discarded.
Right. Yeah.
So
how long, right? Because, like, we think that they have, like, a dog lifespan, right? How long do dogs, how like if Ari's
7 in human years.
And in dog years, that's, like, deeply adult, right?
Yeah, that's like middle age. Because, like, depending on the dog breed, like, smaller dogs live longer, can be, like, 14, 15 years, but, like, a Doberman, like, 7, 8 years old is actually, like, old for, like, a Doberman or, like, some of the bigger dogs, like Great Danes.
Right.
Yeah.
And, like, a Lab or Golden Retriever, I'd say average age is, like, 12. So it depends on, like, the breed. Yeah.
Okay. And are wolves, like, a big dog age?
Yeah, I think the natural lifespan for a wolf is, I looked it up recently, it's something like 5 years.
Oh.
Like, if they make it to 5, they're old.
That's it?
Yeah. Part of that is because of, like,
the hunting and
their pretty extreme lifestyle, and they are very aggressive, and, like, if a wolf is not at the top of its game, something's gonna kill it.
Yeah.
I think in captivity they can live a little longer, because a lot of things live longer in captivity. But yeah, they don't live very long at all.
Interesting.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I assume they're, like, wolf hybrids, not dog hybrids, right? Like, as much as Max keeps joking about him being, like, a dog boy, I'm assuming they're wolves.
I would assume they're wolves.
Because he's got, like, gray fur and stuff, right?
Yeah, they're probably wolves. I mean, it would be cooler for them to be wolves.
And so that's probably what they are.
So that's probably what they are.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be more practical for them to be, like, a lab, and then you would get some very biddable.
Oh, I was thinking since they're clearly just for fighting, it would be like a Malinois or something.
Yeah, like Malinois pit bull, like. Yeah. They could make an eraser out of Sam's dog, and it would be very small and yell a lot. Is that what Rocky does?
When he doesn't have enough stimulation and he's bored and doesn't know what to do with himself, he looks out the window and he starts to bark at things. Or he barks at Totoro's snuffle mat.
Yeah, for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
He has a fixation on this snuffle mat.
Yeah, the cat is not there. He barks at it, though.
He will ignore it for hours and then all of a sudden realize that it's on top of the cat tree and then, like, must bark at it. And then when I try to get it to him to smell, he starts trying to rip it out of my hands and play with it. And then I'm like, anyways, it's very weird. But
you've lost Snuffle Mat smelling privileges, Rocky.
Yeah, so if they crossed erasers with Rocky, they would like to chew a lot.
Yeah, they just want to hang out with Sam, and
right,
they would hate going
boys.
For walks.
Yeah, they'd hate going outside.
No, but they would love going outside if it's the backyard that's full of cigarette butts.
Yeah.
Only the backyard, but not for walks?
Not down the street.
Even though they're like super high energy, they want something else?
No, they want to go in the backyard.
Yeah, they want to run in like a fenced-in yard where there's no scary sounds.
Gotcha.
And no other scary dogs to sniff their butts.
Yeah, they'd be really good war creatures or whatever they're trying to breed here.
Yeah.
Listen, my dog
Sure.
is not meant to be a creature of war, I guess. Yeah? Is that what we're going for?
What, they didn't breed Jack Russell Terriers to be attack dogs?
Yeah.
Jack Russell Terriers themselves actually are quite, like, they have a reputation. Yeah. But because he's a rescue and I think abused, he's got some, like, he doesn't have the typical terrier love of outside and everything. Well, he does love outside.
Well, also, if he was, like, born outside, he probably is like, I don't want to be out there anymore.
Yeah, I'd rather be inside where it's comfortable.
Yeah, but then he destroys everything. Anyways, I'm gonna go off topic.
I'm just saying that the Rocky erasers, like once a week, they'll forget that the only person who ever comes through the door is me.
Oh, yes.
And yell at them for like 1 second. And then be like, oh my God, it's you. Who could have foreseen this? Whoa. And then be like, please go and sit on the couch. That is the only place you're allowed to pet me. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So if that sounds like a good eraser, then
it really doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't at all. Anyway, unclear how much of that was kept in. I just want, I don't want to talk about Ari dying.
No.
It sucks. He breaks his neck and dies, and Max is right there and feels it, and it sucks.
Yeah.
But I do just want to, Ari is like trying to kill Max. Like every time they get into a fight and Ari is winning, he's like absolutely beating the shit out of these bird kids, you know?
Yeah.
And so Max, whatever, like trips him, he falls, breaks his neck, and then has his final line while he's dying, I guess, where he's like, you really hurt me. I wouldn't hurt you, not like this. And it's like, are you sure?
Yeah, it's like, be so for real.
Yeah, be so for real, because like 4 sentences earlier, Max is describing it as, I was his pummeling bag now.
Yeah, like he was going for it.
Yeah, you can't imagine the hurt and pain or his strength or the fury aimed at me. It's like, yeah, he was gonna fucking kill her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he almost killed Fang like 2 chapters ago.
And it's like, this feels like abuser language.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I would never hurt you like this. How could you do this to me? You know, and it's like,
I mean,
okay,
he got it from Jeb,
yeah,
right?
he got it from Jeb. He's also 8. He's been abused his whole life.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh my God, what a horrible scene for so many reasons.
Like, everything about it sucks. Just the whole
Because
thing.
now she's like, I killed him. And she's gonna now have that in her head of like, he wasn't gonna ever kill me. And I killed him. I'm worse than him.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah. Well, and there's also like, I've never killed anybody.
What?
But,
Good.
I imagine like Max was very much physically in contact with Ari as he died, right? Like they were on top of each other. So I imagine like that just kind of adds to the traumatic experience of I killed him, he said he wasn't going to kill me.
Yeah.
Also, I physically experienced the whole thing so closely.
Yeah.
It's like, that's going to live in your brain for the rest of your life. That sucks. As if you needed anything else up there. There's already a voice up there.
Who might be his dad.
Yeah. Oh my God, the fucking voice.
Yeah, I don't know why this book this scene didn't live rent-free in my head, because there's like a very similar scene in a Tamora Pierce book where it's like, we were so close, I felt the life flee his body, you know? And it's like, that sentence clearly has lived rent-free in my head since I was like 13. So it's like, why did this not stick in my brain? Maybe because I was like, no, I already have one. I don't want this one too.
Also consider that the way it was phrased here is Ari went totally limp, which is not exactly wordsmithed.
Yeah, not like viscerally.
Like,
yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah. The way something is written also matters.
Yeah, he was totally dead.
He was like totally limp. Yo.
I mean, I think this is like the original purpose of Totally. So, but we've ruined it.
Well, and Max keeps like talking in early 2000s slang. Totally.
She totally does.
So she'd be like, "Oh my god, he's totally limp." And that's
he's totally. And it's like, no, but she means it.
No, but she means like completely.
Yeah. Well, I do just want to say that actually, Max was doing the right thing, because here at the end of the chapter, she's still holding Ari's head, and that's what you want to do with a spinal injury. You want to keep their head in place. Make sure it doesn't move any more than it has.
Do the rules still apply when you are the one who forcibly caused the spinal injury?
As long as you keep it in place.
Okay.
Don't keep moving it.
No. Hey, Ari, wake up. I know first aid. Can I help you?
Can I help you? No, if
you point at the other erasers, you call 911.
No, if they're unconscious is implied consent for first aid. So there you go.
Okay, good.
And he's a child, so actually it's consent no matter what for first aid.
That's true. Great point. And he also doesn't have a responsible adult to give consent for him anyway, so that's cool.
And, Max should have done CPR for at least 30 minutes until EMS gets there.
30 minutes? Jeez.
Well, I was doing a remote first aid, so you should do CPR for 30 minutes, and then if it seems like they're not going to come for another 12 hours, then you have to reconsider if you're going to stop CPR.
Yeah.
This is not
you can't do CPR for 12 hours.
A class in CPR. Don't do what I say.
That's true. None of us are. And
I'm not trained in
qualified
teaching
to give medical advice.
Yeah, in teaching CPR.
I mean, I actually technically am.
Okay, Sam, what do you do if you've broken someone's neck?
Don't listen to any of us. We're podcasters.
Yeah. No, I am a first aid instructor, but I'm not answering.
Yeah, so you shouldn't say anything.
So
Sophie and I can spout as much shit as we want because we have no liability here.
Yeah. There is a reason I am silent.
Honestly, yeah, the things that I most remember from first aid classes are try to like stabilize a person who might have a head or neck or back injury, do CPR, use an AED.
Use an AED.
That's kind of it. Use an AED.
Honestly, the only problem with keeping up your first aid is that like every about 8 years, there's like an update to something.
Yeah.
And so you're like,
different.
I thought it was this. And they're like, no, we just don't check for pulse anymore. It's like, what?
Oh,
that's been gone for a while.
I know. But that was a big one I remembered. There was one this time.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what it was.
I was told by someone and then contradicted by someone else, so I'm not sure. But that like some of the guidance is just don't bother with like rescue breaths anymore. Just do the compressions.
Yeah, like
I thought that was interesting.
I think they're just like CPR is the most important thing. If you don't feel safe doing rescue breaths, and just continuous CPR is fine.
And that was brought up because of COVID and fear. Like
well,
the rest, like
this was before COVID for me, but
I think it was like enforced widely at COVID. Yeah,
that would make sense.
Yeah, it's like if you are not comfortable giving like mouth to mouth with a person, which is fair because you don't know what's going on, it is better to give chest compressions than nothing at all. Is like, that is the thing. But if you have the ability to give rescue breaths, you should give rescue breaths. Like if you have a pocket mask or you have an ability to create a barrier.
Who has a pocket mask?
I have a pocket mask.
Sam says not as a formal instructor.
Not as a formal instructor.
Don't listen to us.
Just as a fish scientist with a podcast.
What you should do is you should go take first aid training and do what they tell you.
Exactly.
There you go.
What you should do is call emergency services.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one for me, sorry, now I'm on a tangent. Very brief. The one for me was they were like, I've spent so long remembering that if someone has like a puncture wound in their lungs, it's like, okay, you get a credit card, you tape it down on 3 sides so that when they breathe out, the air and the blood come out. But when they breathe in, it flattens down and nothing goes into the lung.
Okay.
And now it's like, no, just put a bandage on it. And then when it bleeds through, take it off, put a new bandage on. Just like a light layer of gauze, because they're like, yeah, it used to do that whole shenanigans, but everyone was doing it wrong. So now we just took it out. It's like, okay, fair.
Isn't that why they don't teach the role thing anymore? Because it's like, people just keep doing it wrong and they're going to fuck somebody up. So just don't roll someone.
I think that was also why they stopped checking for a pulse.
Yeah, probably.
Like if they're not breathing, their heart's going to stop soon anyway, so don't bother.
Yeah. Yeah. I can never find a pulse. I can't find my own pulse.
Maybe you need CPR.
Yeah, the first aid instructors often can't find my pulse either. I might be a vampire. Unclear.
God. It's the big reveal.
I think I'm just constantly anxious, so all of my peripheral veins constrict.
Yeah, fair. Sure. Why not?
Okay, anyway. Max says Ari is as strong as a team of oxen, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't find any numbers for a team of oxen.
Yeah.
But one ox.
Yeah.
The singular word is ox. One ox is like able to easily pull its own body weight and can pull like up to 2 times its body weight. And an ox can weigh up to 3,000 pounds. So Ari could be strong enough to kick at 2,000 pounds force or more.
Wow.
Which is cool.
That's a lot. I don't really have a frame of reference for 2,000 pounds of force.
Yeah. It takes 900 pounds of force to break a femur.
Okay.
So you could break 2 and a bit femurs with that much force.
Shockingly. I don't have a frame of reference for that either.
Yeah. Also, I was reading about this week. A right whale can exert 1,700 pounds of force on a rope that's wrapped around it. So 2,000 pounds of force is stronger than a right whale, which is very big. A very big animal.
That is a very big animal.
But it doesn't have legs, and it can't, like, push against the ground to help generate force, so...
It is pretty hard to kick without legs.
Yeah.
Most people agree.
Most.
I wonder if that's stronger or weaker than Edward Cullen punching a tree apart. Remember?
Yeah, I couldn't remember what those numbers were, and I couldn't find them either.
All I remember is us saying he could punch the moon apart. That as a joke. Anyway. No, that's fun. The only thing I know about oxen is that they pull your wagon in Oregon Trail. Yeah. So I assume that takes a lot of force.
Yeah. They're good draft animals because they're much cheaper than horses, and they're harder to train because they're not as smart. But once they're trained, they're pretty good.
Wow.
Because they'll just go.
Dang.
Also, an ox is just like a castrated bull.
Right.
It's not like a separate species or anything.
Right.
Because I was a little unclear. But it's just a bull without balls.
Got it.
I don't... Why I had to phrase it like that is anybody's guess.
Your own choice right there.
My own choice that I made. It was really good.
So Max is Ari's sister, I guess.
Yeah, we already knew this.
Yeah, I guess we'll figure that out in more detail later. And Angel has a dog. What kind of dog do we think this is? It's the little black one with a short tail.
It's like Toto, or what's the dog?
Toto, yeah. Wasn't he like a Westie or something?
Yeah, he's like a little
Scottish Terrier.
Yeah. Like Westies are usually white, but he's like a little black terrier.
I think a Scottish Terrier is what I was thinking of.
Yeah, I think a Scottish Terrier.
I did look up Toto, but it was not a... Like, I was like, I don't think this is exactly the kind of dog. Because I think Toto had, like, a tail. But a Scottish Terrier... Okay.
Well, they probably docked it, along with all the other bullshit they did to this dog.
This dog was, like, one of the best... Oh, you mean the one in the lab. I was like, Toto was actually the most well, like, cared for dog on the planet, probably.
Yeah, I don't know about that. The dog in the lab, total, doesn't have a tail. I assume it's just docked and not, like... an inherent trait.
But Scottish Terriers, that's the one that was in The Lady and the Tramp, right? They don't have tails, I think.
Scottish Terriers have tails. I think, am I wrong in saying that all dogs inherently have tails? I guess bulldogs don't.
I learned this the other day. They chop the tails off.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Yeah, they chop tails off.
I think for some of them, it can become a health issue, like with the ears.
Yeah. Originally did serve a purpose because it was like working breeds that would get their tails stomped on by oxen and things like that.
Ox again.
But now it's mostly, and now it's like a breed standard thing.
Anyway, do you want to learn about Toto the dog briefly? Briefly. This dog is hilarious. I was so quickly. I looked it up and I was like, I'm only going to talk about this if it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting.
Okay.
This guy named Carl Spitz was like a famous dog trainer during the Great Depression and what, the Second World War? Is that the one that's then? Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess. And he trained like a lot of movie dogs, and I guess Toto, whose real name was Terry.
That's not right.
And she was
Oh.
Terry was a dog that was sent to this training school because she kept peeing on the floor of her owner's house. And then the trainer was like, sure, and trained this dog to not pee on the floor, and was like, wow, this dog is really easily trained. And then he went to go give the dog back, and the people didn't want to pay the boarding and training fee, I guess. And their phone line was disconnected.
Oh.
So the guy just couldn't find them again. So he's like, I guess I own this dog now.
What the hell?
Yeah. And Terry was in like 25 films. I think it's like up in the 23. And then I think only one of them was like, actually, her name was on it, which was The Wizard of Oz.
Wow.
But yeah.
She was credited.
She was in a bunch of movies,
cool.
but only credited in The Wizard of Oz. Yeah. Huh. That's really all I had to say about that, other than I read a article that had like a more first-hand story about this dog written out, and then I went to the Wikipedia page for Terry, and the Wikipedia page says Terry's salary was $125 per week, which is equivalent to
That's pretty good.
yeah, which is equivalent to $2,700 in 2023 per week. And it was more than that of many of the human actors in the film. And then this other story says, which was more than the Munchkins in the film, who were all little people.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, Wikipedia, cool. Cool of you to just gloss over the fact that it's not any of the human actors, it's specifically
the disabled ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did go on
love to see that,
like a brief thing about the Munchkins and The Wizard of Oz, because there were all these articles linked to this other one that were just like, actually, this was like the first time ever in a movie that they were like, we need just like a lot of little people to come for this casting call.
Oh no.
And so like a lot of little people who had like never met other little people came to this like stage to film this movie. And I guess from the Wizard of Oz set, that's where like the origins of the group is called the Little People of America now, and it apparently had its origins with like groups that were formed while filming this movie. Yeah,
interesting.
Anyway, that's the weird tangent I went on from looking up Toto the dog, who was making $2,700 a week.
Oh my god. I mean, the tangent I went on in this chapter was when they go to the Battery, which is just like a park. That's not Central Park, but
that's
still really famous in Manhattan. They find like a little abandoned shed that is surrounded by yew and rhododendron. And I was like, I wonder what these plants mean.
Isn't yew very deadly to dogs?
I think yew is kind of deadly to a lot of people.
Okay.
But it was like, yeah, like yew symbolizes like resurrection and Christianity, and rhododendron symbolizes riches and prosperity, but also both of them symbolize danger. So that's probably just what we were going for here.
That's true, because he like specifically mentions them, huh?
He specifically calls out that it's yew and rhododendron, and I was like, that's so
specific,
odd. But it's like, we're gonna find the most ham-fisted symbolism.
Yeah, but also it's just for them. Just for him.
It's just for them. Yeah.
What child is gonna know?
No, well, he/she, the ghostwriter, probably thought they were very clever.
So clever. I mean,
putting in this little Easter egg.
Yeah. You know, she can have it. I'll allow it.
Yeah, I am feeling like snarky about it because of the rest of this book, but like, yeah. It's not inherently bad writing. Just everything around it is bad writing, therefore I'm assuming this is bad as well.
Yeah. I do just want to state, Total, the dog, jumps 16 feet straight.
16-foot vertical leap.
16-foot vertical leap.
That's more than Saphira, I'm pretty sure.
That's more than what?
Saphira?
Oh, I think so. Maybe. If she grows linearly. Let's think about it.
I was just randomly mad about that again today.
Yeah.
The stupid dragon growth curve.
Reasonable. I do just want to say, to confirm, that the highest a dog has jumped ever is like 6.2 feet. So
wow.
And it was a greyhound named Feather.
Aw, that's so fitting.
Yeah. The videos are wild. You could just like find on YouTube videos of her doing her like crazy high jumps. Like the jump is like, yeah, it's 6.2 feet. It's like so well over the height of her trainer, who is a woman who's probably average height.
Yeah.
It's just kind of wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like I would have not guessed greyhound though.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like the trainer is also, she's just like a random person with a dog. And she's
with a
like,
dog that jumps.
Yeah, she's like, my dog likes to jump. So I just kept like giving her higher and higher jumps to do. It's like, okay, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the dog is probably like, hell, yes.
Yeah, the dog's like, nice.
Big hops, big hops.
She has like another dog that's like a border collie mix. Like both of them are rescues. She's another dog that's a border collie mix. And she's like, yeah, I just sort of like, you know, do random stuff with my dogs because they seemed like they're both really high energy. And so she's like, I just started doing random things to see what they like. And she's like, so my one dog holds the world record for high jump. And my other dog holds the record for most double Dutch skips in a row by a dog. And it's just like a video of this dog doing like, 2 skip rope, like double Dutch. It's like, she just likes it. It's like, okay, great. I'm happy for her. Okay, so we had a brief audio hiccup and maybe lost slight audio. So apologies if it's a bit of a hard cut to this now, but we're going to give up on all of the content of the current chapters and move on to guessing what's going to happen next.
Probably for the best.
Our secret lost audio was mostly just us realizing these are the last set of chapters of this book.
What the heck?
What the heck?
What the heck? We're nowhere near a conclusion. I mean, we also are nowhere near a plot, to be fair.
Yeah, we're also nowhere near the end of the ebook that we're all using because it has extra content from another book at the end of it. Hence why we were surprised. What a good time. But anyway, to what's happening in the next chapters. Before that, chapter 133. I'm going to read you the first sentence, and you have to guess what's in it. That night, we made a small campfire and sat near the water in a part of New York called Staten Island.
Staten Island, notable for being a character in the World We Make series.
For being a real place.
Being a real place that we all definitely knew about before reading a book where she was an animate character, yes.
Yeah. Is that where the Liberty Bell is?
Shut up. See, the advantage I thought of the lost audio was... We lost.
Hannah forgot.
We lost all the part where I couldn't remember what the Statue of Liberty was called.
And just kept calling it the Liberty Bell. I wanted to roast you about it anyway.
That's reasonable.
Yep. But what are Max and the gang doing on Staten Island? Seeing the statue, probably.
Yeah.
Seeing the Liberty Bell.
The Liberty Bell on Staten Island.
Staten Island.
Everyone agrees.
Yeah.
Chapter 134. Your sentence is... Angel started reading slowly, sounding out the words.
They are reading the documents and finding out about their real parents.
Yeah, because
heck yeah,
we didn't mention it in this episode. So in case anyone forgot from last time, Max printed off all of the documents about them that the Institute had, allegedly.
Yeah. And stuffed them in her pockets.
Just filled her pockets with them. Listen to these extremely genuine reactions.
Yeah, it's real.
Whoa.
And now for a real reaction for the next chapter, which is the epilogue.
That can't be right.
Shocking.
That can't possibly be correct.
Your sentence for the epilogue. There's nothing in the whole wide world like flying in the early morning, say around 6-ish.
See, I've taken flights around 6-ish, and I would prefer not to, personally.
That sucks.
Yeah, same, because that means you have to be at the airport at like 4 a.m.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah.
And you have to get to the airport? It takes me like an hour to get to the airport.
Yeah, it takes us like a whole 12 minutes. It's
I was like, I'm very lucky in both places I live. I am so close to the airport.
Yeah. I would like flying around 6-ish if I didn't have to go to an airport. I guess Max is right.
I don't really know what's happening here, though, because, like, if it's the end...
Yeah.
Like, I don't even
to what
know
end?
what the end... It's To what end? To whatever end.
The
end.
The end.
I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
No.
It was really important that I make that pun.
There's no plot. I don't understand how this is an ending, because, like, there's nothing to end, because...
There's nothing to end, because it didn't start.
It's not resolving the conflict.
No.
Yeah.
Like, and so the next book is just, again, going to be the same thing. Erasers show up, they let them go. The erasers show up, they let them go. I'm too old for this.
Yeah.
I feel like both books we've read so far, at the end of them, I wanted to read the next book in the series. Both books? Like, Twilight?
Oh, yeah. The two previous ones.
Absolutely zero desire.
Sorry, yes. When we read Twilight, at the end of it, it was like, I kind of want to read New Moon, and then I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Aragon, I did immediately go and read the next book in the series, and have since finished reading that series. And it is much better when you don't read it like this. But this one, I don't want to read the rest of it. I am happy that we might be done with it soon.
I'm over it. I'm done.
We will be.
Yeah, I guess that we are
actively almost done it.
Suddenly almost done it. Like, I feel no loss.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of sitting here vaguely embarrassed, like, wow, how did we not know we were so close to the end that it surprised us like this? And it's also like, really, there should have been more obvious indications. Yeah,
like, I do feel a little embarrassed that we are so unprepared.
Yeah.
No, but like, in our defense, in the ebook, we are still at 86%. So the fact that there's 14% of this book that is fucking extra content to free sneak peek to the next book, that is such bullshit. I've been caught on this a few times on my Kindle where it's like, I thought I had like 20%, not that much. Usually it's like only 5%. And you're like, oh, I'm already done. Like, no, this is not our fault. Like, I've been tracking it, and it says right here at the epilogue at 86%. So there's 14% of this book that is bullshit. Actually, the whole book is bullshit.
The rest of this book is a sneak preview of his other series, Witch and Wizard. After that is another preview of a different series, and then there's a preview of the next book of this series.
I never ever read the previews in a book.
Me neither, because it spoils it a little bit, you know?
I hate it.
Yeah.
I never read them. So, like, why the fuck? Now I'm mad at this book both for ending and for
doing an ending bad.
Ending like this, not ending.
Yeah. Anyway, we can talk about this in the next one.
Yeah.
We will.
When we actually do these chapters. How about we talk about books we're actually enjoying right now, or have just finished, or aren't enjoying? I don't know. Whatever you guys want to do. All the other stuff we're reading right now. Did I talk about Bride yet?
Yeah.
Okay,
good.
What's it about?
Okay, well, maybe I talked about it, maybe I didn't. But if I didn't, I read Bride. Tragically, I had a really good time with it.
What is
really
it about,
like
Sophie?
Allie Hazelwood. No, I'm not going to spoil it. It's a paranormal romance. Honestly, I think it's somebody who read Twilight and was like, you know what? Bella belonged with Jacob.
Oh, that explains why you liked it.
No, it's not even slightly. The werewolf guy is not even slightly like Jacob, and the vampire isn't even slightly like Bella. It's an insult to say either of them are like Twilight characters, honestly. Allie Hazelwood is great. I don't want to talk about that book publicly.
That's a secret.
I also read The Left-Handed Booksellers of London by Garth Nix, which I think I had started in the last recording, but it was fun. I like Garth Nix. It's a YA, which again is more YA than I've read in years, but it was just like a fun, there's magic in London, and it's it's the 80s.
It's kind of historical.
The booksellers are more, historical.
No.
Secret society from ye olden times. Anyway, it was magic. It was stuff. Anyway, I also read the next Mishaps book.
Yeah.
I forgot how to say mishaps. That time I got drunk and needed a love potion at a werewolf. Also a fun time. And I read the novella, Mistletoe. Been doing a lot of audiobooks, so that's what I've done. And they were all fun. And I picked up Mercedes Lackey Elemental Masters series. So I've read the first book in that, and I'm reading the second one now. Yeah, that's what I've been reading.
Wow.
What about you guys?
Well, I read Sophie's Goodreads review for Bride and then immediately picked it up. So that I haven't gotten very far in it. I've had a very hard week. I also picked up The Fragile Threads of Power, which was our April Midlight book club book. Also read a chapter of that and haven't come back to it. So I'm doing really good here. But I did start listening to Iris Kelly Doesn't Date by Ashley Herring Blake, which is fun. And I managed to finish actually, wow, I think I finished a lot. Go me.
That's good. Yeah.
No, it's because I got on an audiobook kick, and now that I have a dog, I walk a lot, and so I listen to my audiobooks a lot. But I listened to this YA fantasy standalone called Year of the Reaper, which was like fine. I listened to A Psalm for the Wild Built, which Hannah was bullying me about. And then I also listened to Only in Forever by Chloe Leese. And I finally finished the Star Wars Leia book after a really long time. And then I also finished If Only You by Chloe Leese. And which means I finished the Bergman Brothers books by Chloe Leese. And it's a very sad day because they're very good.
That is sad.
Yeah, there were 7 of them. No, I don't know.
There's none.
No, there's none.
There's none.
It's so sad.
It's so sad.
It's so sad.
Yeah. So I guess I made decent chunk, but that's because that was a lot of audiobooks, and I'm walking a lot more than I used to.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I also picked up The Fragile Threads of Power, our book club book for April, and I finished it, and I loved it, and I keep thinking about it.
Wow.
I really like those characters. They're so good. Wow. She did a great job. And then since then, I have weirdly only been reading nonfiction.
Oh.
So I have been reading the Earth Before Us series by Abby Howard, which are graphic novels for children about extinct animals.
Heck yeah.
They're extremely delightful. I'm having a great time. And then I'm listening to Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer, which I think we've talked about before, about kind of the confluence of indigenous wisdom and traditional science. And We Are All Whalers by Michael J. Moore, who is a whale vet, basically talking about how all of our consumer decisions impact the ocean, and in particular the North Atlantic right whale, which is almost extinct, and it's very sad. And I have lots of opinions about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So many opinions on whales. Which I will save for later, because maybe I should pick up a fiction book, and maybe it should be Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young, which is our Midlight Book Club book for May.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really know what it's about, but it has a pretty cover.
And it's been on my physical TBR since Sam gave it to me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been on mine for a while.
It has not even been on my radar, but I'm excited to read it.
Yeah, this is the second book by her we've had on our book club list, right? Because we had...
Yeah. I think we read Fable in 2020 or 2021. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Which I liked.
I liked it.
And shockingly, Sam didn't.
True.
No.
But this is her adult novel, right?
Yeah, and it's gotten very good reviews. Like,
yeah,
it's pretty well liked. So I have faith that I think most of us will like it, hopefully.
It sounds fun.
Yeah.
Based on like an extremely preliminary glimpse at the summary, which is all I kind of like to do these days. It seems fun.
And I haven't seen a bad review of it. So usually that means that
there you go.
It's pretty good.
Oh, the second
Don't. You just said you don't read them.
No, don't do that.
The second review on Goodreads just says, that was a lot of drama for a bunch of apples.
Wow.
What does that mean? None of us know.
Guess we'll find out.
Maybe next time we'll be able to tell you. If you liked this chapter of Midlight Crisis, consider rating and reviewing us on Spotify or your podcatcher of choice. You can talk to us and find fun-related content on social media. We are at Midlight Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Tumblr, and Blue Sky. And all chapters of the show thus far are available on our website, midlightpod.podbean.com, and on YouTube.
And said Sophie never. In my mind, I pictured the route we had to take.
Rude.
For those who are unaware, Sophie is so bad at directions.
I'll have you know.
Always lost.
So bad.
I don't need to figure out the route because I have them memorized.
Oh, yeah?
Just don't take me off the route and I won't have a problem.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Don't put me in a place I haven't been before, okay? How is anyone supposed to know where they are?
Or a place you've lived for 3 years.
Or a place I've lived for 3 years.
Yeah.
Or inside a mall any number of times. I never can find my way out of a mall. Maybe that's why I don't go to the mall.
That's probably why.
I get lost
Think
inside.
of a mall!
I literally can't figure it out.
You live in Newfoundland. How mall could it
How
possibly
mall can it be?
It's not a mall at all. It's so sad.
There's one hallway and I get lost.
Oh.
Yeah.
You'd never know from the way you walk with such confidence on unfamiliar streets.
I'm so confident that I don't know where I'm going. Look, nobody else is making a decision, so I'm just going to start walking.
Uh-huh.
I don't have time for this. But I do have time to be lost.